Monday to Friday at 12:30 p.m. only on Bloomberg Quint.
Violent protests have been reported in Arunachal Pradesh that resulted in mobs torching vehicles, vandalizing public property and even setting fire to the Deputy Chief Minister's private residence. The protesters are angry about a recommendation by a joint high-powered committee that wanted permanent residency certificates granted to 6 non-Arunachali tribes. The recommendations have not been accepted by the state government. In fact, authorities have been quick to reject the recommendations. But the damage has been done. Speaking to us now on the current situation is Union Minister of State for Home Affairs and Member of Parliament from Arunachal West, Kiren Rijiju. Mr. Rijiju, thank you for speaking with us here on Bloomberg Quint and welcome to the show. I want to start by first asking you to explain to us why this has become such a huge flashpoint in Arunachal Pradesh, despite it first being a recommendation. Do you think there was a lack of communication from the state government on the issue?
Yes, first of all, it is very unfortunate that such violent clashes and violent protests took place in peaceful state of Arunachal Pradesh. Normally, people of Arunachal Pradesh are very peace-loving, but this particular PRC issue has taken an ugly turn. But we have been told by the state government that normalcy is returning fast and they are consulting with the civil societies and various other organizations. First of all, you have to understand that there are some non-Arunachal Pradesh tribes, people residing within the territory of Arunachal Pradesh. These communities are non-tribals, but they are settling inside Arunachal, who are demanding for permanent residential certificate for the purpose of job application in the central services and other organizations. So the government had constituted 3 joint high-power committee. 2 joint high-power committees were constituted earlier, which were headed by 2 former Congress ministers. They also recommended for granting of PRC. So this present government also constituted the 3rd committee headed by 1 minister, which had the members from all political parties, all student organizations and various social organizations. So it was a joint high power committee. So they went to the ground and they came out with a report. I have not seen the report because the particular concerned area is not under my parliamentary constituency, so I have not gone into detail. But I was told that the report had recommended certain things that without affecting the rights of the indigenous tribals of Arunachal Pradesh, some kind of certificate or some kind of protection or certificate is to be issued to the non-tribals residing in 2 districts of Arunachal Pradesh who hold certain lands and certain properties, and they are members of the panchayat already, they are member of the Gaon Buras and like that.
Yeah.
But my concern is whatever status is given, it must be done after due consultation with the people of Arunachal Pradesh. So there was a definitely miscommunication. When the report was to table in the assembly session, people thought that government is going to immediately agree to the report. So my request to the state government is that before tabling of this joint high power committee report, a consultation should be properly done, or communication must be sent across to the people that government is not going to accept PRC in toto. But before this communication could be done, the violence broke out and large numbers of properties and damages, and which led to the unfortunate death of 3 people, and many people are injured. So this is very unfortunate. But the state government has already passed an order that this JPC report for PRC will not be accepted.
Yes.
So this order has been already passed. But my concern is there was already violence.
Yeah.
So this violence is something very unfortunate, and the state government must do everything to bring back normalcy. For that, wider consultation and confidence building measures must be initiated immediately, which the state government is doing now.
Sure. Just a couple of things, Mr. Rijiju. One is that was there a lack of maybe intelligence or understanding on the part of the state government, because you're saying that this high-powered committee did ground reports, there was a lot of consultation on it, and they could not understand what the response could be, because if I'm not mistaken, this is not the first attempt to give PRC to these non-Arunachali tribes. It has been attempted before and it has failed, so it's obviously a sensitive issue. Isn't this an administrative failure on the part of the BJP government in Arunachal Pradesh, and at a central level as well from the Home Ministry?
No, the failure is to the extent that the communication could not be sent across to the people. Because the government thought that the JHPC is constituting of all political parties, all student organizations, and many civil societies. So government must have thought that it is in the agreement with all stakeholders, so tabling in the assembly and discussion will not lead to any kind of such uprising. So I think that is misread. The government has not been able to understand that such violent reaction will come from the people. So that part, yes, I can accept that the state government did not comprehend this kind of situation. But immediately state government has corrected their position, and they have already passed an order not to take up PRC in future time, never. So that order is already passed. Now the immediate duty of the state government is to restore normalcy and build the confidence amongst the people by engaging everybody, every stakeholder. That is the priority right now.
Mr. Rijiju, you are often seen also as, the face of the BJP in the Northeast. You're one of its most prominent leaders. And of course, the Bharatiya Janata Party has had amazing success in the Northeast over the last few years, winning election after election. But there is one common thread as well, and I'd like you to explain this to us. We saw strife in Assam last year over the NRC, the National Register for Citizenship. Then we saw strife in several northeastern states over the citizenship bill, which was passed in the Lok Sabha but was not moved in the Rajya Sabha before the term ended. Before that happened, there was again violence, large-scale protests. We have now seen a similar situation in Arunachal Pradesh with the PRC. And in all 3 cases, it's a fear of changing the demographics of the local area that have spurred people to protest. Is there a pattern here?
Yes, you are right. See, Northeast people are very concerned about the protection of the indigenous rights and identity, and with regards to linguistic, cultural, and their constitutional rights, which are being provided by various provisions and various acts. So people feel that any decision which is going to dilute their interests is heavily resented. That is why we are very clear that any decision taken by the central government or state government should not harm the interests of the local indigenous people, be it refugee issue or be it any other steps to be taken. We have to be very careful. That is why, the Supreme Court had given an order that all the Chakmas and Hajongs residing within Arunachal Pradesh should be given citizenship. Despite that, we are able to explain to the Supreme Court that it is not possible to grant citizenship in a blanket, because there are many people who have come illegally and settled down there. So it is not easy to actually implement on the ground. So our plea, the Home Ministry for the first time had taken a stand supporting the will of the people of Arunachal Pradesh. So right now I feel that we are able to do anything which is in the interest of the indigenous people of Northeast. And for Arunachal Pradesh, in last 5 years, we have taken all possible steps not to infringe the rights of the people of Arunachal Pradesh. You remember, Tamanna, there is a law called Eastern Bengal Regulation Act. According to Eastern Bengal Regulation Act, even an Indian is required to obtain inner line pass to enter into a state like Arunachal Pradesh.
Yes.
But the Chakmas, Hajongs and the Tibetan refugees were settled in Arunachal Pradesh a long time back during the Congress time. So I don't know how this Eastern Bengal Regulation Act were violated by then government by settling the refugees inside Arunachal Pradesh. But now, since it's a long time, our duty is to ensure that no further such illegal or unwanted decisions are taken by the central government or state government which runs against the interests of the indigenous people.
I want to make that question more specific. You said, Mr. Rijiju, yes, there is a pattern and the BJP governments or the BJP allied governments in these states are, making it clear that they don't want to mess with the demographics. But then why push rule after rule, project after project, which makes the people unsafe there? It seems like the BJP, since it has come, has sort of stirred trouble in this region, isn't it?
No, contrary to that, the demographic, damage, the demographic invasion, whatever you may call, has already caused lots of effect in a state like Assam. So whatever damage was done, it was done earlier. Our point is, during BJP government, no further damage should be done. Any decision taken will be taken only after the proper assurance, consultation or safeguards provided for the indigenous people of Northeast. That is why, as I said, whether the illegal Bangladeshis were settled in Assam or in other parts of Northeast, or refugees were settled in the protected territory of Arunachal Pradesh, these were done long time back. Our time, we will not allow further such kind of infringement into the rights of the tribal people and indigenous people of Northeast. So we are very careful. So there is a distinctive differences between us and the previous government. Previous time, the confidence and the supports were not obtained. Without the consultation of the local people, refugees were settled there. And right now, it has become a human rights issue. So what we want, I am very clear that any decision during our time, especially when I am a minister from Arunachal Pradesh and representing Northeast in the government of India, I know the local situation, I know the local sentiment. Yeah. So I will never allow anything or any decision which will adversely affect the identity and the rights of the tribal people and indigenous people of Northeastern region.
Mr. Rijiju, since I have had the opportunity to speak to you, I want to read out to you a quote from former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir today. Speaking in the context of Article 35A, Omar Abdullah says, I want to tell the centre that see the situation in Arunachal Pradesh, where there is no militancy, no stone pelting. A peaceful state like Arunachal Pradesh is also up in flames. The people there have hit the roads in order to save their permanent resident status. And he goes on to talk about the threat that the people of Kashmir feel about Article 35A. Do you see an equivalence there like Omar Abdullah does?
No. Omar Abdullah has compared it wrongly. PRC issue is at the domain of the state government. Central government has no role in granting PRC or not granting PRC. It is in the domain of the state government, and state government has already decided not to grant PRC. Central government cannot grant PRC to anybody in the state. So this is a totally different subject. As I said, The refugees were settled inside Arunachal Pradesh during the Congress regime long time back, 4 or 5 decades back. These were done long time back. But our time, we will not allow such thing to happen. And I'm happy that at least state government has understood the sentiment of the people of Arunachal Pradesh and decided not to accept the report and recommendation of the JHPC.
Sir, but since you are also MOS home, I'd like you to comment on what is happening in Kashmir right now. The petitions against for the repealing of Article 35A are due in the Supreme Court. There's already some tension and there's some strife. 2 former chief ministers of the state have warned of large-scale unrest.
Tamanna, no, these are matter highly political and sub judice matter, which I will not like to comment now, because at the higher level things can be much better to take over this issue. I will not be able to comment anything on the constitutional provisions with regards to Jammu and Kashmir. Right now I am confined to Arunachal Pradesh and Northeast, where I can reassure you to the people of Arunachal Pradesh that during BJP's time, and especially I am a member of parliament from Arunachal Pradesh, no decision or nothing will be done to harm the people, to harm the interests of the local people. I am there to protect my people. I am here representing the people of Arunachal Pradesh in the parliament. So during my time, those kind of arbitrary decisions taken by the Congress government will not be repeated in our time.
Okay, I understand, sir, but you are also MOS home, which is why I must ask you about Kashmir. If you don't want to comment on what's in court, that's fine. But I do want to get your view on how you see the situation in Kashmir. There has been no elected government in the state. It's been under central rule for the last 6 months. There have been calls to, call elections at the earliest. And then after the Pulwama attacks, where our Jawans were martyred, there are reports of Kashmiri students being targeted in other parts of the country. Do you not think that the Home Ministry should have issued a statement on this by now?
No, Home Ministry statement was already there before. 3 years back, 4 years back, Home Ministry had issued advisories that Kashmiri students or Northeast students residing or studying in various institutions across the country must be protected. This is not a recent advisory from the MHA. It was to ensure the safety of the Kashmiri students who are across the country, same as we issued advisory for the Northeastern students. So that part we will take care. And otherwise, on the security front, our security forces are committed and doing excellent duties about Jammu and Kashmir.
I want to ask about, of course, there are investigations going on at the diplomatic level. India is taking steps, the people there, then that government split, then the kind of policies that the NDA government has had. And all of this has contributed to the strife and the build-up inside Kashmir. What would you say to those comments?
No, I don't want to make a comparative statement at this point of time. Our forces are doing excellent job. And the Jammu and Kashmir administration headed by the governor, they are doing the job on the ground. If you want to get direct inputs, you can get in touch with the governor office or the state administration there. But all kind of supports from the Home Ministry are being extended. As I said, political leadership has a clear view about the situation, and we are very confident that the situation will be tackled.
Is there a clear view that there should be elections soon in the state, since there is no government in place, no state government in place right now?
No. I cannot comment about anything else right now because things are being dealt at appropriate level.
Okay. Let me ask you a couple of political questions, Mr. Rijiju. We are a few months away from the general elections. You are, of course, a prominent BJP leader as well. Do you think your party is going into these elections with a whole set of challenges on the front of rural distress, the outcome of demonetization and the impact it's had on the economy, jobs? These are all areas where the BJP government has come up short. Do you think that there is a challenge you see?
No, every election will be a challenge for any political party. What is a fact of the matter is that the country has never seen such a decisive political leadership, and never before the economy of the country is so poised to take a center stage in the global economy. So never before India is placed so well. Today India is one of the main growth engine of the global economy. So this is something which the people of the country understand, and then there is no alternative. If Narendra Modi ji is not re-elected again, then everybody knows what disaster India would face. So there's no alternative. People of the country know that Narendra Modi ji is the man of the moment, and he is the only person in today's time to lead India and catapult India into the top league of the Global Committee of Nations. So we are very clear, very confident that the people of the country will go with Modi ji and with BJP and NDA.
So is that the pitch of the BJP, that there is no alternative, or the TINA factor as they like to call it in political jargon, and is the BJP's pitch completely dependent on the Prime Minister?
Of course, he's our leader. As I said, India has never seen such a visionary and decisive leadership since independence. That is why we are fortunate to have the leadership of Narendra Modi ji. So he has to drive, not only BJP, he's driving the country. Narendra Modi ji is the man of the moment, and we are lucky to have him in today's time. Not every time and for every country such leadership is available. So it's fortunate for India to have Narendra Modi ji as our Prime Minister and leading from the front to take India to a new height.
But sir, you will admit that in a democracy, it is, every Indian voting for their parliamentarian. That is the democracy that we have. Do you think it is the right approach to make it a presidential style democracy where you're talking about the Prime Minister candidates and their options? Aren't people going to look at what the options are in their ballot box, in their constituency?
India is not a presidential form of government. India has a parliamentary form of government, and parliamentary form of government is headed by the Prime Minister. So he is leader for all of us. The Prime Minister is leader. So whether you call it the parliament election by electing members of parliament, but ultimately it's the leadership which shows the way. So we have to work hard on the ground by each candidate, each member of parliament, and then make people understand that we are guided by a strong leader. So we are going ahead with Modi ji's leadership, and it is well accepted leadership, so there is no dispute about the mood of the nation, where every member of parliament, every BJP candidate will be fighting election in the name of Modi ji's leadership and with the aim of fulfilling the BJP's manifesto.
Do you see a challenge in a joint opposition fight? Opposition parties are hoping to build up an alliance before the election. The Congress may play a big role in this. Do you think arithmetically the BJP will be at a disadvantage?
See, the fact that all the opposition parties are coming together is because they have, accepted the defeat, that Modi ji and BJP is so strong that everybody tries to come together. That means that BJP's acceptability and Modi ji's acceptability amongst the people is very high. That is the reality. That is why they are scared and they are coming together. Otherwise, can you imagine BSP, Samajwadi Party coming together, or Congress and Trinamool and all communists are joining in same platform? Like that, these are the situation created by the strong performance of our government. So that is a clear-cut proof that our government is doing very well, and we have a very strong mandate of the people.
So 25 Lok Sabha seats from the northeast region. I assume this is your biggest task ahead from your party's side right now? What is your aim? What is your target number out of 25?
No, Northeast has 25 Lok Sabha seats. So in any case, we will be crossing 21 seats, the NDA, BJP-led NDA.
Do you think there is a challenge in keeping the flock together? We had statements even from Conrad Sangma recently after, the whole citizenship bill fiasco, saying that they are reconsidering their position in NEDA.
No, that is a...
Do you think that's going to be a challenge?
That is not against BJP or NDA. No, there is no challenge. We are working together and we will be together. Nothing will happen.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Rijiju, for your time and for answering all of our questions. We were speaking here with Union Minister of State for Home Affairs, Kiren Rijiju, who's also MP from Arunachal West.